On the 8th day of Christmas, Rob Top gave to me Sonic Wave by Cyclic, Arctic Lights by Metal Face, Sonic Wave Infinity by a P-Team, Dramatic by Ringello, Miseretta by Dodgy, Sync by Audi, Bit Crusher by Slay, and Sand Sailor by Koosty and Ked. Wait, my phone's going off. Sorry, let me just answer this. Hello. What? I got the wrong script. Fine, can you send me the new one? I'll re-record. Thanks. Sorry about that. What? 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 I did that. What? I fluked it to 51! What? What? You're fucking kidding! Yeah, this isn't real! What? Hello everybody, I'm Shadow and welcome to the 10th day of the 12 Demons of Christmas. And for my level this year, I decided to beat my new hardest demon, Yatagarasu, by Truster and more. Now, going into this level, I'd heard a lot of terrible, awful things that I will not repeat out loud. But actually, I enjoyed this level quite a lot, and there's a very good reason for that. I fluked it from 51. That was absolutely insane. I never expected that. And honestly, I don't think I'll ever get this lucky on a level ever again. This took me less attempts than my previous hardest, Delta Interface, despite this being leagues ahead in difficulty. So today I'm going to go through the level, do a practice run, and talk about it, because there's a lot to talk about with this level, I think. So you've got the pre-drop here, right? The pre-drop is famously the hardest part of the level. Viper's ship isn't too bad. Obviously you play it every attempt, you get pretty good at it. This part, I don't know who made it, but it's annoying. Every single structure is invisible. You can sort of see it in this part here. So it's a memory part, is what it is, essentially. It's 3 clicks, it's not, you know, it's not terrible, but I do think that is quite stupid. That is a recurring theme in the level. You cannot see what kills you. This part is probably the worst part in the whole level, I can't lie. I do not like this part at all. You have to do that micro click with the blue orb. This straight fly is impossible for no reason. And then you go into Jazor's part. Jazor is probably the most iconic part in this level, because it's the wave of all time. Some people skip this portal here. I didn't. I just found that more consistent. But what I did do, I did skip this portal here. What skipping this portal does, it essentially just stops you from having to do a micro release down here. The micro release isn't hard, it just makes it more consistent. Woogi's part is famously not very good. I didn't find it too bad. A lot of people don't like the ship because it is very momentum based, it's weird to get down. Findexi's part, if you get to here, 9 times out of 10 you get to the drop, honestly. I'd just like to comment on how stupid this guy looks here. You land here and that sets up these 2 clicks in the orbs to be buffers. Those orbs are weird, you can't actually see the spikes, but you just buffer. No, you click late, buffer, click late. Okay, and then you're at the drop. Immediately you've got the buffer click into the straight fly. I died at that straight fly a lot more than I should have, probably. This wave looks hard, but it's 2 clicks, and they're not bad at all. Okay, here we get into the part I have an issue with. Anthrax. Maybe not so much the wave, but the ship. I cannot see where the spikes are in this part. I don't know if that's just me. The entire screen is just a mess of red objects. I can't really differentiate what's a spike and what isn't. What makes that part worse is I have astigmatism. I barely use my eyes when I'm playing the game anyway. I rely a lot on muscle memory. So I had to get a really solid click pattern down for that ship, otherwise I just wouldn't be able to do it. Once you get to 30, it starts getting serious, you know. This ship has a really weird transition into it. It's kind of a pad, but then you still have to, like, straight fly out of it. I've seen people skip this green orb to enter the ship upside down. You can do that. I didn't. Here you've got Cosine's ball. A surprising amount of those clicks are buffers, if you set them up correctly. You have to hit this blue orb in particular very late, because it looks like you can just hit it normally, but if you hit it normally, you end up here, and this is a speech bubble death. Okay, and then you've got the ship. This ship is very iconic, I think, and it's the only part of the level that makes the you can't see anything gimmick actually decent, because that is actually meant to be the gimmick of the part, instead of just making everything red and black, so there's no contrast. You got the ball timings here. These aren't horrific. I died there a couple of times. Oh, I've never died there before. Okay, and here's Zelda's part, right? That was my worst death. This was my worst death on the level. 51%. The third click of Zelda. The robot micro clicks aren't bad. And then the wave spam is incredibly easy. You should never die there, really. And then you get thrown into Michigan's part. I've seen people have really weird click patterns for this cube. You do a double click to buffer the pink orb, and then you can hold off of this jump. You got the wave. Surprisingly tight, actually. It's a lot tighter than it actually looks. And then, of course, you have the bird. What the bird is, I believe, is it's 2 touch triggers, one about here, one about here. You have to do a jump about the same difficulty as an extended triple spike to pass them. I'm amazed I fluked this click. In runs, I had a bad habit of being so focused on the bird click that I would end up dying to the triple spike. So once you pass Michigan, you get to Luneth. And Luneth is far and away the easiest part in the level, right? This gameplay you would find in like a top 500 maybe, not a top 200. What Luneth is, it's a part meant to entirely build up nerves. You're not meant to die here from 0. You're meant to be absolutely shitting bricks by this point. It's slow, it's easy. The only place you can really die to is maybe this click here, this spike, if you set it up too late, but even so, this click is a buffer. It is worth noting that my opinion on these parts is not reliable at all. I fluked the level from 51. Do not listen to me. Okay, Hein's part is one of the better parts in the level, unfortunately. The swing copter is incredibly fun. Swing copter is probably one of my favourite game modes. It's pretty easy as well, they say, not being able to do it. And then this ship part, it's tight, but it's not insanely difficult. And then you have the second swing copter, which is a lot easier. That pink orb you have to hit very late. Bah, bah. Okay, and then you're in... Who made this part? Evasium's part. Evasium's part is another part where, oh look, I can't see anything. Which is, you know, this level's good for that. The ship gaps aren't necessarily difficult, but because of the way you have to like swoop all over the screen, you can die to them. Evasium's UFO is fine, except for one thing, which bugs me so much. It is this structure here. You would think that there's a slope here, because there is on every other structure, but there isn't. You can die to this saw blade, because it looks like you can just like bonk your head on it here, but no, you can't. You will die if you do that. You pass Evasium, right? And you're at the ending of the level. I consider 75 to 100 the ending. Lugia's part is definitely, like, mechanically the hardest part. This dual straight fly is very difficult. And then this is the wave click that everyone talks about. This one here. A lot of people do a double click to set up into that. I don't, because I'm hardcore. This wave spam out of it as well is absurd. You have to click a certain amount of times. I click 4 times there, but you need to be going down out of the portal so that you don't hit your head there or end up here. 77 is by far the worst choke point in the level, I think. You have to do this gap here. You have to not bonk your head on here, which is so easy to do. So actually, the gap doesn't look too bad, but in reality, it's a lot tighter considering you can't bonk on this little bit here. Doesn't look like it, but you can actually hit this pink orb very early. Here you have CSX's part. Ooh, a lot of people don't land on this platform, and it's like, why? It just makes it so much easier. CSX's ship is very easy. It is just a bit of straight fly. The wave is where we start having a couple of issues, right? Has inverted hitboxes. So as a matter of fact, this gap is not nearly as wide as it looks. This sort of double click, not really a double click, but sort of readjustment click you have to do is weird. And then here, you can buffer the first 2 clicks. But obviously if you try and buffer the last click, you die to that. Because why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't they all just be buffers? The ship out of CSX is so hard. Oh my god, I died here so much in runs. And then at the climax of the level, you have Funny Games part, which is just moving objects central. You have to memorise where you're going, right? You're not, like, sight reading this. By the way, I would just like to talk about this green orb here. Brody beat this level. And he hit that green orb and did it like that. What is wrong with him? It's so much easier if you just hit the first 2 and skip the last one. And he ended up dying there from 0. So it's like, why would you do it? This gap is hard. It's harder than it looks because a lot of times you will end up hitting this big fucking platform here. Funny Games Ball is not difficult, but again, somewhere you can die to. And you cannot buffer this. As much as you want to, everything in your body is telling you to buffer this click. Do not, because you will die like that. There's a lot of ways to do this UFO. Like that. I've seen people go up here. I know Truster did that when he verified the level. And then you're at the final part of the level, Riot. These cube clicks, what makes them difficult is the fact that the click is like just after a speed portal. So it's a lot more difficult than it would have been if you were just 3 times speed already. You can hold after that pink orb. I've seen people who don't. Interesting specimens. Again, there's a couple of ways you can do this part. I buffered both of those orbs and then just timed those clicks. It is really difficult to tell like where you are in relation to other things in that cube. So dying there is like very reasonable. And then you've got these triple spikes. You can click it too early and not make the second one, or click it too late and completely not jump at all. You can die to being too early here and not being able to buffer this orb. And that's Yatagarasu. Maybe I'm not the most qualified to talk about this level considering my experience with it, but I had a fantastic time playing this level. I really liked it. But yeah, that was my addition to the 12 Demons of Christmas this year. Thank you very much for watching and have a good one. Bye bye. Before I end, there's just a few things I'd like to say. First of all, tomorrow's video will be uploaded by Hytal. He worked really hard on his level this year, so I'll link his channel in the description and please consider checking him out tomorrow. I'd also like to say a huge thank you to Finley for inviting me to take part in the 12 Demons of Christmas again this year. It was a ton of fun and I'm honoured to have been a part of it once again. Finally, this was my first time properly editing a video like this, so tell me how I did in the comments, and consider liking and subscribing if you're new here and enjoyed it. Merry Christmas everybody, and I'll see you next time.